whoever decided to push the trade deadline week, like 4 weeks back to where it is, I could kiss you on the forehead. I could, mwah, 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 European kisses all over your face, potentially. I would just Pepe Le Pew you to death because this was unbelievable. The deals that were made, the moment in the season and time that they were made, we've got lots to get to. It is also Gronk Day. Gronk will talk to us. I have a text from a producer that says, try to think of a way to have a game called To Clone It or Leave It Alone, which would be amazing. We're going to talk about Tom. We're going to talk about Tom's dog. We're going to talk about Tom's clone, Drake May, with him as well. And we have RJ Ochoa because do we like the Quinnen? I love Quinnen. Quinnen v. Micah, Jerry v. the world. Let's get into it. All right, Week 10 is here. Vegas at Denver tomorrow. Brees Hall staying with the Jets. I have lots of thoughts. I'm extremely over-caffeinated this morning. I'm excited to have Gronk on the show. I, of course, have thoughts. This is one of the best trade deadline seasons, really, of all time. 18 deals overall, 8 of them yesterday, including a few huge blockbusters that we'll get into. To the Colts side of things here in a little bit, we're going to dig into the Cowboys side of things with RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. Appreciate both of their time, but let's take a moment and some time for Jets fans. This has to be a bittersweet morning. We start with you. We send love to you in New York. It is very tough to get rid of staples, home names, jerseys. I see these kids crying all over TikTok. The player, the caliber of people that these people at Sauce and Quinnen are, Darren Muji did pull off, though, and you got to give him credit, the most aggressive stockpiling of picks that I've ever seen since Herschel Walker, okay? This was another lost season for them. This makes sense. He squeezed everybody, and now he's got to make some, he or whoever's making these picks has to make something out of them before we can fully figure out, well, we don't know what this looks like in a long time, but I like the stones to do it. And you can't knock the value or the way that he has now set up this team with these lottery tickets, AKA draft picks, to find their quarterback and rebuild the franchise. So Jets fans, I love you. I'm here for you. You children with these Quinnen jerseys, look, I need a new jersey. Get yourself to Dick's Sporting Goods. Get yourself, Jet stuff is 25% off, I saw on TikTok at Dick's Sporting Goods. Get yourself there, figure it out, find your new love, and Quinnen will always be a piece of you. More on Quinnen a little bit later, but time for, as we do every Wednesday, even when it's crazy trade deadline day, Underreactions. We'll talk Cowboys here in a little bit, but this is Underreactions Day, where I get into some of the things around the league that should be getting more attention, and I want to start with the Colts. Oh, my gosh. I could kiss you. I could kiss you on the mouth, Colts, for what's going on here. I love this so much for this team, for the ownership, for the big storyline of the late and the legend Jim Irsay. Angels in the outfielding it, just smiling down at what this is. If somebody were to ask me what my favorite little statement is, my favorite, like my mantra, what I live by, one of those dumb questions people ask you on podcasts, it's always the tagline to an Aesop's fable called The Boy and the Nettle. And the sort of home run hit there at the end is, do boldly what you do at all. Grab things by the nettle. It might sting you, but who the F cares at the end of the day? Because if you're not taking a risk, you're not winning and you're not living. And the team, and I'm seeing too much all over Twitter, and people I love, people I respect being like, I wouldn't make this move. It's too much. It's whatever. You wouldn't make it because you don't have the stones to make it and you stand by it. And there's very few people that can do that, and those people win in life and they win Lombardis. This team, and kudos to Chris Ballard, kudos to the sign-off, I'm sure, and the support of his ownership, his coach, the belief in Lou Anarumo from this front office, from this coaching staff, from the team, from the ownership, and in Daniel Jones. I'm seeing too much. Well, I'm so happy for them, but I'm being negative about it, and I see myself doing it. But I'm seeing a lot of I guess they think they can win. This is their. Have you guys been watching or hearing any soundbite from anyone on this roster or surrounded by this team since training camp? Jonathan Taylor. Everybody up and down, everyone knows that they could win. I don't know how to make that work. They know, they've known. They know, they knew they have their guy Daniel Jones. They feel good about it. They knew, they'll figure out some things, obviously, from last week. But it shows how much faith they freaking have. Of course it does. I didn't need this monster trade for Sauce Gardner to show me that. And then I'm seeing a lot of, like, is Sauce even that guy? Would it make this trade for Pat Surtain? Pat Surtain isn't available. Sauce is. Highly paid. They're not even paying all of it. And they have to give up some draft picks that are lottery tickets. Poof, fairy dust. Like Matthew McConaughey says in Wolf of Wall Street, who cares? This shows confidence in everybody. I don't have script, I'm sorry. This move isn't about getting a great corner in Sauce. This can change the entire approach to the defense. They're going to get Charvarius Ward back. They've got a tough one against Atlanta. They are unbelievable on both sides of the ball. That's going to be hard to do. I don't know what role Sauce plays in that, but I know he'll get acclimated. And they have the perfect bye week. They have to go to Germany, face a really tough Atlanta team that makes every quarterback look terrible, and their offense is great too. And then they get a bye week, which is perfect off Germany. And then they come back and they face like a truly, do we have this Colts schedule? I'm free balling here. Sorry, we have the Colts schedule. Yeah, here it is. This is not great, okay? This is a toughie. Perfect bye week. We got Sauce acclimating to this. We're going to get Ward back, I'm guessing, by this game against KC. Yesterday was a bad day for Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, honestly, because you already know Lou's your kryptonite. Lou is the Thanos that can put you down. He's done it. He stifled you. He stopped you. And now he can be even more aggressive. He's going to blitz the F out of this entire gauntlet here that he faces. Tough divisional games, of course, tough quarterbacks. And this is going to be all defense, all Lou. And that's amazing. Lou, by the way, 2-0 against Josh. He has handed, I think, Patrick Mahomes 3 losses as well. And Sauce, by the way, has, go on, other way. Sauce has plenty of history, people, against Josh as well. He's done a great job. Josh has thrown his way 6 times in 68 snaps of man coverage when they face each other. They're going to man up. And this whole team, top to bottom, has manned up with the faith, with the big swings. Hamilton, what was that? Is it no risk it, no biscuit? Who's that? BA?
That was Bruce Arians, yep.
I like all of that. Do boldly what you do at all. It's the way to go. Anybody that says differently is just hedging, a la the Patriots. And we'll get to the Patriots. Elliot Wolf with 1L didn't make any move. And then you can definitely say, like, we're happy with what we've got. I don't know. The AFC's wide open, and anybody can take. And if they go here and they lose, Indy's horsey sauce beefs up defense. I don't know. Great. Love. Don't know what that means, but I like it. If they go and they lose in the divisional round, I'm still okay with it. Because what you're doing is the life that you're breathing, the showing, the confidence. And anybody have a doubt that Daniel was going to be their solution? You thought they were going to go, like, draft a quarterback? Also, what are we talking about here, Matt?
Yeah, with the way the season has gone, it's clear that he's the guy they want to move forward with. This just, I guess, makes it everything but official. But yeah, I mean, especially with what the Colts have gone through over these last few years, like Ballard has built this great roster. They've gotten this great head coach. They've just been waiting for the quarterback. Now that they have that guy that they've been waiting for, I'm with you. Go all in. I know it's a steep price, but you don't get chances like this very often. You don't know what's going to happen going forward. You have to seize the opportunities when they're in front of you.
What did I miss here? I don't have any. I'm just going by my feels here. What did I miss here? I mean, what did I miss here? They're going to get to be so much more aggressive. And this is like, Lou's always taken it to those AFC quarterbacks. That's the idea here if you're Ballard. Like, I trust Lou. Lou can do this. But let's give Lou something I don't know that he's ever really had this exact sort of a situation once you have a healthy Ward. And then you have Kenny, who never gets talked about enough, and he's a little monster. And then you got Cam Bynum, who's bringing the juice in. This secondary and this defense now can be talked about, I'm just going to say it, in the likes of their division rival, the Texans, and in the eyes of somebody you're going to have to get through in the AFC gauntlet, and that is the Broncos.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Lou's defenses in the past that have given Mahomes trouble, that have given Josh Allen trouble, he plays so aggressively, but he hasn't had corners quite like this. Like the safeties have been the strengths with Jesse Bates. Like these corners are going to allow him to get even more creative. Yeah. So it's going to allow them to be even more aggressive, like you said, and in ways that we haven't, as aggressive as he's been. I think it's going to be even more than what we've seen in the past.
Kind of a brutal thing to have to go from this where I fell in love with Coach Lou in his stint as DC with the Bengals, because he's a madman, a maniac. He has success. He somehow can like get under the skin and be a pain in the ass to these AFC GOAT quarterbacks in this amazing way. I liked his vibe. And then the Bengals decide to turn the page, and they bring in a guy who has familiarity in that room in that building, in Al Golden. And I did my best when I went there for training camp to say, this is great, and like the offense can keep things afloat for the defense, and we believe in how good does the defense have to be? Well, it has to be better than what it's been. It's been uninspiring, and they can't make a stop. They can't. It's just been really, really brutal. And yeah, Coach Lou is winning on both fronts here. He's winning with the Colts. He's winning on deadline day, and now he's got to do it. There's a little more pressure on him now, of course. But he's also winning by watching. You know, he's not happy about it, I'm sure, but he's winning by watching what's happening with this Bengals defense and not being able to keep this team alive. And I have a lot of Bengals fans calling me a traitor, which I actually take a lot of offense to, because I'm not a lifelong Bengals fan. I cannot imagine what this all feels like day in, day out. But my goodness, something has to be done here to ensure the present and the future. You are cooked for 2025. You just are. Cincy fans, thanks, Hammy. Thanks for my support here in this mission here. Cincy fans, and here's what we're underreacting to. I brought up the potential of a Trey Hendrickson trade months ago, almost when Joe went down. Like, you have to now bring this realistically to the table. If you are a fan or just a reasonable human being that might score an average grade on an IQ test. I'm not pulling some kind of heel turn, Bengals fans. We're not giving up on Who Dey Nation or what this team can be, but it's not right now, okay? I'm pushing for the Bengals to do what's reasonable, and I was yesterday, or at least answer phones, which they seem to. It just didn't kind of work out. When it comes to Trey, this is how it pertains to what's going on here. He is on dost thou forget that he is on a 1-year deal? He's on a 1-year deal. And with the way all of this has gone down, there's a strong possibility that he's not on the team next year. A strong to very strong possibility. Why wouldn't you want to get what you can for him when you can? Especially when, I mean, this has been an incredible seller's market for the rest of the world. There was interest. I know there was interest in Trey. There were phone calls being exchanged. It would have been good business, reasonable business, if you're a fan of the Bengals, to snag a pick or two that could help them, because Joe Burrow could do what he did last year. We're in the same old story. You could be on your way to an offensive player of the year situation in Joe Burrow, but you're not going to get past the teams in the AFC with this defense. You need to fix it. You need to add young talent. I want the team to be successful. I believe that they can be. I want the defense to be fixed. I don't know if that's leadership. Is it getting back something for Trey instead of losing him for next to nothing in free agency? What sense does that make, Bengals fans? Explain to me where this narrative is coming from, or maybe there's a perspective that I'm not hearing in getting draft picks, other than the fact that Hamilton, sometimes draft picks, it's hard to have faith in the draft picks when it comes to what the Bengals do. It's a bit of a criticism. There's no doubt in my mind that this would have been the right move. And I don't really maybe there's emotions involved, or obviously business that I've never met. Duke, I don't know what's going on. But it would have been nice to get something back to play with, because I don't know how they fix it. And this all kind of started when Jesse Bates left. And so I keep fingers crossed. Nobody wanted them to have Trey more than me. But when it gets to a certain point, you just have to do what's rational.
Yeah, and with it being a 1-year deal, if you're not, I don't know, like maybe they can reconcile the situation like they did with T and keep him there for a couple more years, but it doesn't seem that if that's the case, then fine. But it just doesn't seem like things are headed that direction based on what we've been hearing. And if that's the case, if he's walking in the offseason, it just doesn't make sense not to move him. And
I did say if they lose those next 2 games, and voila, you lost those next 2 games. So it would come up again, and it came and went, and he's there. And maybe, maybe that's it. Maybe I need to be more positive. They'll get a deal done and keep him, because he is one of the most prolific and elite players, and he will have plenty of people wanting his services next year. I know he's injured too, so that factored into all of this non-trade nonsense. The other thing we want to talk about, listen, after trade deadline, Colts, Cowboys, Jets. No, we're talking Panthers. We needed to get the Panthers in here on a Wednesday. I love this. I think we're totally underreacting to what the Panthers are doing this year. I will admit, I've been somehow involved, participating, and complicit in this. Mea culpa. I've been wrapped up in the Packers issues and their side of the thing, that I have not given proper love to Carolina for going into Lambeau and coming up with a win on Sunday. They're smoking cigarettes freely. Nobody taking the cigarette out and saying no smoking here, let me squash it on the sidewalk. No, look at this, little Bryce. They're squeezing everything they can out of this quarterback, and I love it. These Panthers have won 4 of their last 5. Only one they dropped in that one was to the Bills, and that was without Lil Bryce. So they're now a half game back of Detroit for a playoff spot. The Saints are coming up this week. That's a chance to make it 5 of their last 6. It is truly incredible what a little support from ownership to your team, to your fully optimistic, bought-in, high-energy coach can do. And, you know, some of these underlying team stats aren't exactly eye-popping, but they're making clutch plays. Okay, some of these players, they've got individuals at an elite level performing, and you got to give love to Ricky Dowdle. He got his first start of the season in Week 5 against the Dolphins, okay? Not so coincidentally happened to be right when this run started. Rico has not only led the entire NFL in rushing since, he's almost 200 yards more than the next closest guy, MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor. That's over that span. I want to go even further with this. I'm going to hit you with a double full screen. We never do this. Here we go. One full screen to the next. This isn't some shout out to Jonas Gray, Lynn Sanity kind of run going on here. If you go back to last Thanksgiving when Rico was still with Dallas in the last 15 games that he's played, he's second in the league behind only JT over that span. That includes the first 4 games of the year where he was the backup to Chuba Hubbard. I'm not quite sure how the Cowboys let him go, but Rico's been that guy for this Panthers offense, and we are underreacting to his greatness effect on this winning record and the success that they're having. We've got Gronk coming on the show. We've got RJ Ochoa coming on the show to talk the Cowboys side of things. You've got Week 10 slate, which we're excited about. And by the way, I want to show you this. He has the 4th. No, they'll not show Gronk. Can we do the screen? We have, guys, more full screens out the wazoo this morning. Hamilton's on one. Thank you, graphics, for this as well. Dowdle has the 4th, sorry, not Dowdle, J.C. Horn, who's due to be on our show, 4th lowest passer rating allowed of any corner in the entire NFL this year. He's making one-handed picks in the end zone, lockdown guy. So happy to see it after all the bad injury luck he's had to deal with early on in his career. Derek Brown, elite level, disruptive AF on the interior. We were trying to come up with a comp for Derek Brown. I can't do it. We need him on the show. Talk to him in training camp. He's truly one of one. And if you look at the odds over at FanDuel Sportsbook, and you should, plus 45 the Panthers are to make the playoffs. 245 plus 245, as you're seeing on your lower third there. If these guys keep playing at this kind of level, they can absolutely make it happen. Hamilton, I want to see the Panthers schedule coming up in the break. Short break here. Gronk on the other side. Hamilton Harrison is here, and we'll talk more about the Jets, who Gronk now in his new media role pretends to not hate. We're going to get into all of that. Are we cloning Ralphie? We'll get into the hot topics next. It like goes dark, and then I have to put my password in, so this isn't going to be helpful for me. It's fine.
Because I might have something.
Yeah.
It should.
What's their schedule?
So they got the Saints next.
Okay.
And then it gets interesting. They get the at Falcons,
Tough.
at Niners,
Tough.
and then the
Tough.
Rams.
Yeah.
So that's where this season we're gonna know.
It's not easy after the bye.
Season. Yeah, it's yeah. 2 games against Tampa and Seattle in there too. So this is a tough schedule overall too. They had to play the Bills and Packers.
Yeah.
And,
Can I see the Jags schedule next? I gotta say, Ham, because the Colts have a shit schedule too. And why did how come the Jags look so nice? This is, you know, in comparison, what's the Jags record right now?
I mean, because they are 5-3. And that's what happens when you finish in last place.
I have a weird feeling that the Jags, but I have this weird, here come the Jags feeling.
Yeah, I mean, if they can build off the momentum last week, I'm still waiting to see Trevor put a full game together before I can fully go in on them. But the schedule isn't bad. They do have those 2 games with the Colts, the Broncos in there. A
wild thought would be that they just, with that record versus, can I see I mean, let's look at the Colts freaking thing. They play the Avengers. Like, yeah. They're taking on, it's Chiefs, then it's And by the way, I'm really worried that the Falcons are gonna give them hell, and there's gonna be a lot of like, why would you trade? I feel I'm anticipating that because people don't think the Falcons are good, and they're very freaking good.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy game. I don't know. I feel like the Colts schedule is pretty similar to the Jaguars schedule the rest of the way. They got the Chiefs, Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Houston.
Are you excuse me? You think that that's comparable to what we just showed you?
Yeah.
Broncos and the Niners game cancel each other. Of course, they play each other. No, like the Chiefs, Seahawks, those three different. No, absolutely not.
The Jaguars already beat the Chiefs too. And they already have to get that one out of the way.
The Jags are a sexy little second halfer. That's all I'm saying. Not even comping them to that. They're
They're in a wild card spot right now.
Hold on now.
It's gonna be interesting.
Hold on now.
Oh no.
We might get a James Cook on the show this week. Now, the James Cookie being sold at what store?
The old world tight end, the 6'7" freak. You can call me the GOAT. Rob Gronkowski. Touchdown!
Oh my goodness.
Go.
Holy guacamole!
The greatest of all time, yo, they call me the GOAT.
My next guest, a four-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, studio analyst for Fox NFL Sunday, Rob Gronkowski. How many questions do I have to ask you until we talk about the dog and cloning?
4 questions minimum.
No, this is not Dudes on Dudes. This is not. This is the Up and Adam show. What can you? Did you know this was happening? What do you know?
All right, hit me with the question. Hit it.
What did you know before he? Did you know? Have you met the dog? What do you know? Explain this to me.
I have never met the dog. I had absolutely no clue that Tom was cloning his dog. What is really wild is that there's a Frenchie that lives in our place in New York City, and Camille told me last week, hey, I just ran into one of our neighbors and they just cloned their Frenchie.
No, it's an epidemic.
And Camille was telling me all about it, and they took like a piece of their ear and like a piece of their bum or something and cloned the dog. And then a week later, it's big news everywhere that Tom Brady cloned his dog. So that was a surprise to me. I had no clue he was doing that. That's the first time I heard the news. But what's wild is just Camille telling me how our neighbor did that in New York City. So that was like just a coincidence. I heard it twice in 1 week. So is that the thing to do? That's kind of weird to me. The good thing about Ralphie is that Camille and I say he's going to live forever. And we say it at least 5 times a week. So he's going to live forever. So I don't have to worry about cloning Ralphie because of that reason.
If you... Just to put on your best scientific hat, you're brilliant. You really are. How do you think you clone a dog? How does this work?
I don't know. Camille said they take like a piece of their DNA from their ear and from their butt or a limb or something or out of their leg. I'm not exactly sure. And you clone the dog. From what Camille told me, actually, this was literally all went down 2 days ago. She told me all about this. We had a conversation about this, and then the news broke about Tom cloning his dog. And what if it's fake news? That could be fake news. Like, is there a direct quote from Tom that he cloned his dog? I'm not sure.
Great question.
Yeah, we actually got to get that.
I think he posted.
If it's not fake news or
he
or
owns.
if it's real.
No, this is like Tom's on the way to being the richest man alive, and he invested in the company that's doing this. So really, you should be saying, of course, you'll clone anything because you want to support Tom's creepy cloning company.
I mean, I need more details, and I need more scientific evidence and all that.
Yeah, you think it's fake. You think it's fake.
And make a wise decision if I believe cloning, is good or not, for this world. So I can't really make a decision until I get informed with more information, okay? But from what I hear real quick, from what Camille told me, is that they take the piece of DNA and they clone the dog and it replicates the same exact look, but the personality is not the same. And that's what you kind of really want in a clone dog is the personality. You don't fall in love. You can fall in love with the looks, but you truly fall in love with a dog because of their personality. Like Ralphie looks great. He really does. But his personality, I meet other Frenchies and I tell Ralphie, like, girl, Ralphie, that Frenchie's better looking than you. But let me tell you, your personality is why I love you way more than that good-looking Frenchie, Ralphie. So it's all about personality.
Ralphie's a good-looking Frenchie. Don't say.
He's a 9.5 out of 10.
Now, in this conversation with Camille, did she bring it up because she's like, what do you think? Like, does she want to clone Ralphie? You know?
Absolutely not. She
Oh.
says the same thing every single time. Ralphie's going to live forever. And I think that she needs information more that's backed with scientific evidence and all that stuff before she even makes a wise decision. She was just telling me all about it, but I don't think she's really into the clone game.
Yeah.
But we just keep saying Ralphie. Yeah, hey.
Thomas, I have a question for you. What are the chances that Drake May is cloned by Tom Brady's clone?
I mean, there's kind of similarities in ways like Tom at the beginning of his career, you know, had the baby fat still, you know, he had the blown up cheeks, and Drake May kind of has that similar look, kind of same hairstyle, a little bit of the same smile. So this is a possibility, Kay. You might be onto something. What are you, an investigator?
I want to be an investor. Tom never calls me to invest in any of his millions of become a billionaire things that he's got going. Tom, I just want to call. I just want give me a call. Well, maybe we could clone 2011 Gronk and put you on a team. Where should we put you if we cloned you at 2011 prime Gronk?
All right, if it was right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I would go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And your 2011 self would go on the 2025 Bucks. Why?
Yes, that is correct. I feel like I would be the missing piece. They got a pretty solid tight end in Kate Ian, but we're similar. We're not the same exact players. We would counter off of each other very well at the tight end position. We could go double tight plenty of times, but I think I would be able to take that offense with Baker Mayfield to a whole nother level if 2011 Gronk was out there.
Do you think that there's human clones running around, like famous people?
I don't think there's any clones running around, but I think there's possibly some aliens running around, you know, in this world right now on this earth.
But not that we created or like messed with. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a world where, like, you know, when they show like celebrities that look just like them, like other celebrities from like a long time ago? There's something to that for sure.
But there is also 8 billion people on this earth now, okay? Like, some people have to look alike eventually.
I don't understand, how can they clone anything or everything, yet I somehow still need to, like, plug my phone in to get fully charged? Like, when are they going to solve that problem? Isn't that a bigger, like, that's what makes me stop believing in, like, we went to the moon, we did all, can you guys just make it so that I don't have to plug my phone in every 5 seconds? How about that? How about you guys chew on that, you smarties? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that won't ever happen because you got to use it, so the charge eventually goes down. But I believe that there's going to be a phone where you can not charge for,
that's what I need.
You know, like 2-3 days it's going to last for.
Work on that. I don't need another, like, Joaquin Phoenix running around. Thank you.
They need to work on that. Charging your phone's annoying.
Yeah, FanDuel Sportsbook wants us to talk football, and we shall. Let's do it right here, right now. Blockbuster trades. It was such a fun day. Such a fun day. The Colts get 2-time All-Pro Sauce Gardner. Heavy price, lot to pay, 2 first-round picks, and they get A.D. Mitchell, who'll have a nice little opportunity to get some looks here and mature as a receiver. What did you think of this deal? What was your big takeaway?
My big takeaway was that the Indianapolis Colts are all in right now. They're going for the Super Bowl this year. They're going for a deep playoff run, and you got to respect it. I mean, they're 7-2 right now, and when you get that opportunity to have a deep run in the playoffs, to have a solid season, to possibly go to the Super Bowl, you got to go all in, and you got to, you know, respect, you know, what the process is that they're doing. I mean, the opportunity to be this good, leading the AFC at 7-2, you know, playing high quality football, and to upgrade your team so you get even better. I mean, you got to do that because the opportunity isn't always going to be there. There's 32 teams in the NFL. So Indianapolis Colts saw an opportunity. They took it, and the Jets won on this trade too. Definitely. I think the Colts may have given up, if there's anything about this trade, they may have given up just a tad bit too much. Maybe the 2 first-round picks, don't send that player as well over to the Jets, or maybe a first-round pick, second-round pick, and that player, but they might have given up just a tad bit too much. But I would say in the end, both teams won in this trade.
We're talking about what it might mean for the Colts, right? I love Coach Lou. Coach Lou has a track record of giving it to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, he's tough on them. He has success, landed wins against them, kind of has it figured out. And now he can be super aggressive, right? Now you've got Sauce, Travarius Ward. They'll be able to stay with these receivers, whoever it might be, and let this pass rush get home and do its thing. It's a very cute thing that he'll get to be very aggressive and make waves with this defense, Coach Lou knowing what he knows. Let's look at the odds here. They just jumped. Colts jumped the Packers in Super Bowl odds after the trade. I don't know if we have it on the screen. Colts jump the Packers. Yeah. Your thoughts on, like, how is this where the Colts should be post-Sauce?
Yeah, definitely. The Colts should be up there. I'm glad they jumped in front of the Packers. I'm not really high on the Packers at all. I mean, their offense hasn't been able to really produce all year. And they've shown now that they can get beat on the defensive side of the ball. But this kind of looks pretty accurate here. I mean, you got to toss the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and maybe put the Buccaneers in front of the Packers as well.
Okay.
But overall, I like the odds. I would say those are probably the top, 6 teams that, shall be having the best chance to go to the Super Bowl.
We've been saying so many weeks that you want to maybe add something, a receiver, something to this Pats team. They stayed pat. They did nothing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they did nothing. And there's always a lot of hype at the trade deadline every single year. And actually, I'm surprised that what went down yesterday before the trade line, there was more trades and more, I would say, splashes of big names that got traded that I thought were going to get traded. Usually every year there's a lot of noise around those trades. But with the Patriots, absolutely nothing went down. They were actually sellers. They got rid of a couple players last week before the trade line. And I don't know what that really means for the Patriots. I thought they were going to upgrade. I thought they were going to kind of be like the Indianapolis Colts and make a splashy trade like that to upgrade whatever position they thought they would need to in order to compete and have a deep playoff run. So clearly Coach Vrabel is satisfied with what they have, or teams were asking for too much and hoping the Patriots were desperate. And when people think you're desperate, you should never make a trade, because giving up too much for a player is not good. So if that's the case, I'm glad the Patriots didn't make a trade then. And guess what? They have, $60 million left in the salary cap? I mean,
I think they have the most.
They must have a plan for the future as well, Kay. They're building up. This is just the first year that Vrabel's there and the front office there and all those coaches are there. They're going to make big splashes eventually. If it's not this year, it's going to be in the offseason.
They're in an interesting spot, and it's like a great spot to be in, but also a little they found themselves with this record, right? And they found themselves in this AFC that has the Patriots right now digging, trying to get up to the top of the division. You know what I mean? So the time, I'm having a tough time, and I know New England well. I covered that time, and I know how Mr. Kraft operates. And I'm almost I think there's two things happening at once. They're rebuilding. So people are forgetting that because of this record and what Drake May looks like. So it's almost like a house money thing. We're well ahead of schedule because we still need pieces. They also have been healthy this whole season. They really, outside of a couple, Booty's been a little banged up, but he's fine. Harold Landry, I thought, was more hurt than he is. But I don't know if they have the depth to do something this year. And then they did nothing because they're still rebuilding, and they're going to take all that money in the draft, and they couldn't find the right deal, is what we're saying, right? They could have made a deal, wasn't the right deal. But then again, I'm like, bro, you're 7-2 and the AFC's wide open. The Colts just went for it. Now, granted, other teams like the Chargers didn't really do much, and other teams, but part of me does want to be why wouldn't you go add what's available, because you are in a rookie window with this quarterback. Add whatever to go.
That's what I was trying to say, Kay, and that's why I was so hard on them to make the trade, and they have the room for it. They really do. And the only reason why I just, can't see why they didn't make any trades was because people were asking for too much for whatever players they wanted. That's the only reason I can come down to on why they didn't make a splashy trade. Because they have the room for it, and this is the opportunity to go for it, like you just said, Kay, as well.
Can this roster... There's been the indictment on this thing is over the years, the past couple of years, is talent. We don't have talent. We don't have talent. They have some talent. They've got young guys. They've got our veterans, Stephon Diggs, all of that. Can this roster go to a Super Bowl? Because that is that's the landscape of the league right now. They could go. Can this roster go?
Yes. I truly believe. I would say half of the rosters in the NFL can go to the Super Bowl. If those teams, if those half of those rosters all come together and play together as a team and everyone's on the same page in the organization, there's about 16, 18 teams that have a capable roster. It's all about putting it together on the football field on every Sunday, every given Sunday that is, and playing your best football after Thanksgiving and in the playoffs. And Patriots are one of those top 16, 18 teams with a roster that can do that, you know, and it's all about being healthy in the end and playing your best football and getting it all together and everyone being on the same page from top to bottom. And they're going to really have to stick it out and get on that page if they really, really want to have a run at the Super Bowl when they make the playoffs.
I would have liked them to see them add like an edge. I think like depth will matter down the stretch. Harrison, can you get in here? I know that they're plus 3,000 to make the Super Bowl. It's so crazy because they're rebuilding. They shouldn't be here, but guess what they are? So then it's like, do boldly what you do at all. They're 13th in odds. They're behind the Niners. Was there an edge that you, like, Ham, that you can come up with? Or, like, I know, like, Gronk wanted a receiver potentially. What would we have liked to see them do?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Hendrickson was floating around out there. Obviously, it didn't seem like the Bengals were motivated to move him. Bradley Chubb was another name I saw thrown around, which would have been interesting if the Dolphins were willing to deal him in the division. That might have been a holdup there. Or maybe if they got ahead of it, Jalen Phillips ended up getting traded to the Eagles.
For them,
yeah.
Okay, so maybe there wasn't a deal. Maybe there wasn't a deal to be made. I feel like the Bengals with the Trey Hendrickson Gronk were like, if you go to like a car lot and want a car, like a used car sales lot or something, and the guy's like just like a jerk from the beginning. Like he's not somebody that's going to want to make. I think that's how the Bengals have handled Trey. Like teams maybe asked, but the Bengals weren't exactly like, "What do you like about the car? Let's talk about." I think they were just like, you know, in the corner, not really like looking up and trying to help the customer. That's what it feels like as a fan.
Well, yeah, it kind of does a little bit in the back and forth and the negotiating and no one finally getting to the final price. Like, and then finally they probably got to like a price where they agreed on, and then the customer came and opened up the car to the door, and the door handle fell off at the end, so then the deal didn't go through again.
Poor
I know
Trey.
what you're saying. Yeah, poor Trey. But it's okay. He's having a great career. He had a solid contract before. He's getting paid decently this year. But that would have actually been the perfect guy to go over to the Patriots, because it's just a one-year deal. It could have been like a third, fourth round pick. It wouldn't have hurt the Patriots in the long run at all. It would have been a perfect car rental, taking it from the car rental lot in Cincinnati.
It's true, and they didn't get him. I think you're probably right. There wasn't the right deal to be made, and I hope that they can. I think if they can stay healthy, they got a real chance here. When you guys want to hang out on FanDuel Sportsbook, it is plus. I think Ham said 2,000 plus. Plus 3,000 to make the Super Bowl, which feels crazy behind the Niners. Short break here. Back with Gronk. He's going to hydrate, as one does, and then we'll be back to talk. We're going to have you the defense of DABOLL. Let's just do it right now. This is why you should subscribe to the YouTube. Listen, Giants also dead quiet at the deadline. Not surprising, right? It's all about trying to get the right pieces around Jackson Dart in the future. People are questioning the right leadership for Jackson Dart in the future. People want him fired. New York media, he's not the guy. Another 2-7 start, which is hard to debate. What would you say to those fans who want DABOLL to not keep his job?
Well, it's really hard to debate, you know, in this situation, because the NFL is all about winning and losing. And if you look at DABOLL's record, it doesn't really favor him at all, you know, in this conversation. Obviously, if you look at it, you're going to say he needs to go. He needs to get fired. But with my experience, he knows how to get the best out of players. You know, he knows how to bring the best out of them so they can play at the highest level and have fun with the game. If you're having fun with the game, you know, you can play your best football. It makes it enjoyable. When it's enjoyable, you go out there and make plays, and that's what he did when he was my coach. I don't know truly DABOLL as a head coach, but in my defense, you know, I really, really like him. You know, I really think, you know, Jackson Dart is a good fit for him. You know, the way that the chemistry you see on the field with them as well. It looks like Jackson Dart's playing at a high level. Cam Scatterbo was playing great as well. Unfortunately, he went down with an injury. Malik Neighbors went down with an injury as well, which hurt the Giants overall. I would say give DABOLL just one more year. One more year with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo coming back next year, another offseason. And if he can't win next year, and if he does not show any heart, if they don't show heart at the end of the season this year and they don't play hard, well, then you can can them this year. And if you see the team give up and looks like they don't want to be on the field and they're not enjoying the game, then yes, that means they're giving up on Daboll, and then he's going to have to go. But in my mind, how I see it, they're still playing hard. That means they're still believing in the coach. So possibly one more year, and then from there, you can make a decision.
If they do decide to part ways, maybe mutually, maybe whatever, what kind? There's somebody was talking about Lane Kiffin to these Giants. Is that do you subscribe to that? Is that crazy town?
That is pretty wild. Lane Kiffin's been like all over the place in college football. Like I remember, like it was like yesterday, he was the Florida Atlantic University head coach, and then all of a sudden he's like has a top 10 program. He's in the SEC and he's just dominating all over the place. I just feel like Lane Kiffin. I mean, I never met the guy, but just seeing his personality, I just feel like he's great for the college football.
Okay.
His antics and all that. I think he's a great fit. I love what he's doing. I love his personality. I love how he's acting. I just don't think that would translate to the NFL. NFL is a little different, type of style.
He did it, right? He was with the Raiders. Probably not a fair assessment of what.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of what he can do. I don't. Yeah, but I do think like him and Jackson would be a vibe.
You would have to have a quarterback that's kind of like a college-y type bro, and Jackson Dyer is a college-y type
okay,
bro.
You're the best.
So they would get back together and have a good time. But I love Lane Kiffin, and the way he does it in college. Like, it's entertaining. Why ruin it? Why
ruin it is right. I want to ask you about this Cardinals news, right? And I said it yesterday. If you watch the tape, it should be Brissett. The offense looks better. Kyler gets benched. Gannon comes out and he says, this is the guy that I want. So now Brissett, you were with him. We looked back at it. Can I get that in script? Sorry. I have exact. I think it was week 3, Schmashmakegate year. Do we have that? Can we go back to that, please? Sorry, Gronk. One sec.
Let's check it out.
I want to show highlights from you didn't get the ball thrown to you at all in this game, but I want to ask you what you remember. I mean, Brissett's put together a successful tenure in the NFL. What do you remember about this year, his rookie year, the 1 year you two overlapped?
Oh, yeah, actually, okay, I just called you Camille. Okay, actually, I did get one route thrown to me. I was coming off a hamstring injury, and I could barely run. Yeah, and he threw it over to me, and, like, it was awful. Like, I shouldn't really have been out there. I was capable to block, but I wasn't really capable to run a route in this game. And he still threw me a pass, and I just caught it and kind of went down. I think he threw me a fade route, too, but I didn't even try for it because I just wasn't there yet. But JACOBY, he's a legit player. Like, he's got a grasp of the game of football, and that's why you see him succeeding, down in Arizona. He knows how to handle the offense. He's a leader out there. He knows how to put the guys in the best position. He knows how to read defenses. I mean, he doesn't have the best tangibles, but that doesn't matter. He has tangibles of a big heart. He wants to go out there and compete and win. He beat Brady when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He was a solid backup with the Patriots, and now you see what he's doing with Arizona. It's no surprise. Last year, he was put in a very terrible situation with the New England Patriots, so you got to count out that season. That doesn't count. But other than that, he's been pretty solid. He really has been. Yeah,
pretty solid, and somehow the offense looks much better with Brissett, who you question his tangibles and his not question, but like he's not a first overall pick. Kyler Murray was. Is Kyler Murray a starting quarterback next year?
Yeah, Kyler Murray will be a starting quarterback next year. I think he'll finally be gone from the Arizona Cardinals, especially with JACOBY, showing the success that he has. And when JACOBY came to us as well in New England, like, we knew we had 3 starting quarterbacks on our roster with Garoppolo, JACOBY, Brissett, and then obviously Tom. And it was like wild just how many starting quarterbacks were always the backup to Tom, and how, Bill would grab someone in the 3rd, 4th round, and that's at the quarterback position, and eventually they would go be a starter somewhere else, and there's so many of those. But Kyler Murray will be a starting quarterback. I just don't think for the Arizona Cardinals, and then whatever team gets him, it'll probably be a discounted price if his guaranteed money's out this year.
It's one of the more, we got to get to prep a shot in it, but really one of the more disappointing. We were talking about like how he'd be better than Lamar Jackson before the draft, remember? And even when he got drafted, like, because he has that talent. Like, it's one of the most like unfulfilled ceilings of talent I can think of.
Well, okay, here we go. The definition of the NFL is who wants it more, who has the bigger heart, who wants to go out there and actually love the game of football and give it their all and want it. Julian Edelman wanted it more than so many other players, and that's why he was dominant. Kyler Murray, I don't know. I can't speak for him, you know, but usually when you have that much talent and the tangibles are all there, it means your heart just really isn't in the game and you don't want it like the other players do, and that's why you can't step up and win games. That's the only conclusion, you know, I can really get to, because I just saw JACOBY Brissett go in there and run that offense very efficiently and get the ball to the players they need to. So that's Sony. I've seen it so many times. So many players, like, hey, I wasn't the most talented tight end, but I wanted that freaking ball and I wanted to run people over. I just wanted to run hard and play hard. I was just a football player who wanted it. There's plenty of tight ends with more talent than me. I just wanted it more.
Do you really believe that? Do you believe that you like that if your heart wasn't in it and you just showed up to work, clocking in 95, that you wouldn't also have done what you did?
No. There was times where I was on that page, Kay, like plenty of times in my career where it's like, I don't even want to be there and I'm just going through the motions. I get it done, but like, it's not as enjoyable. You don't really put up the best game that you could have possibly put up. There's times where I leave the game and I'm like, wow, if I really wanted to play that game, I would have went for 150. Instead, I went for like 60 yards just because the motion's been there because I've been doing it for so long.
Enter Tom Brady in your ear, like get the F.
It happens.
Yeah,
but that's the NFL's tough, and it can knock you down. All the hits and all that. Maybe you don't feel like playing that game, but at the quarterback position, you got to be up every single week, and you're not taking the hits like that. So your body and mind should be prepared every week.
All right, we're gonna do this TV thing where we shut up in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh.
What happened?
What are we doing?
What's going on?
I thought Hamilton was taking it out of break and doing this. Okay.
Oh, Hamilton's getting cloned right now. Hold on. Give him like 10 more seconds. Yeah, he's in the laboratory. Dexter's laboratory.
Just play it.
The over-under for Lamar Jackson's passing yards is set at 236.5. Does he go over or under?
I think he's going to go under. He's going to have one of those games where he throws like 4 or 5 touchdowns, but like the yardage total is only like 180 to like 220 yards.
Can we make that a prop, please? Have over 6 touchdowns? Or can we have 5 touchdowns
I said 4
over?
or 5.
Okay.
I mean, Gronk, you couldn't have been more right about Lamar's game. He was under the 236, and he had 4 touchdowns. So for that, I'm giving you an extra point today. So we are all tied here in Drop
Okay,
a Shot
I'm
at
quitting.
15.
I'm quitting mid-season. This is absolute.
I love your rules, baby. I love your rules. You the man.
We're here to serve the customers, Kay, and Gronk went above and beyond for our loyal FanDuel Sportsbook customers.
Do you
so
think
Gronk
this
gets
is
an
going to
extra
go
point.
well for anyone? Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's going well for me. It's going well for Hamilton. It's going well for me. It's going well for all the customers.
Okay. We need to investigate
I'm an
this.
analyst, Kay. I analyze football.
Go on.
All right, Gronk, and because you were so great last week, we're going to start with you again here. The line for Bo Nix's passing touchdowns tomorrow is 1.5. Does he go over or under that?
This is the proudest moment of my time on the Kay Adams Show. Thank you, guys, for real. But Bo Nix, I mean, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. 1.5 touchdowns. He'll probably do that in the fourth quarter. He probably won't throw a completion all game, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter throw 2 touchdowns. So I'm going over.
All right, okay, your turn. Ashton Genty's line.
Is he going to get an extra point for that, even though it's the most obvious thing in the entire world that Bo does that in the fourth? Or
yeah, if he throws 2 in the fourth quarter, we'll give Gronk an extra point.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, your turn. Ashton Genty's line.
I'm going to say Sean Payton will be on the field at some point yelling at someone. Can I get extra points for that then, or?
No, that's not.
Oh no. Okay, got it. Okay, go on.
Ashton Genty's line for rushing yards, 55.5. Does he go over or under?
I'm going to go over. This is a, pun intended, stand-alone primetime game. He's going to stand up and run. This is a low bar to clear. I don't know if I like. Ashton, you're a rookie. I'd be disappointed by this line. I'd be like, huh? I'm going to absolutely hit the over on that.
All right, Gronk, back to you. We're going tight ends. Brock Bowers receiving yards line, 66.5. Does he go over that?
Easy cheesy. Brock Bowers is back. He's healthy. He's dominant. He took his game to a whole nother level again last week, and it's going to continue. He's going over.
Why is Gronk doing like the W? It's so funny. I love that. Okay, go on.
He's feeling himself after tying this up. Yeah. All right,
Cheating is fun for everyone. Go on.
Broncos side, J.K. Dobbins line for rushing yards 71.5. Does he go over or under that?
71.5. I'm going to go over. There is people forget about him. He's like a top 5 rusher this year. I think the Broncos are going to build a nice lead, and he's going to take over down the stretch.
All right, Gronk, one anytime touchdown score for the Broncos in this game.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I will be going with J.K. Dobbins to have an anytime touchdown score for the Denver Broncos.
All right, I see what you're doing.
J.K. Dobbins.
I see what he's doing there.
All right, Kay, one anytime touchdown score for the Raiders.
Yeah, he's trying to he took my guy. That means, okay, all right, I see what you're, I'll take Brock Bowers. Suck on that, Gronk. I'm going to take him. 3 touchdown game last week. He's getting at least 1 tomorrow night. Easy peasy done.
I don't know. I think he's going to go for like 150 yards and no touchdowns this game. And now if that happens, bonus point.
Yeah, apparently those are the rules. This is the last time we do prop a shot because this is absolute malarkey. Okay, here's to recap. Let's take a look at this. These are my props that Hamilton picked for me because he apparently is just the king of the world. Ashton Genty over 55.5. I actually really like that one, that over. Guys, hit that prop up on FanDuel Sportsbook. J.K. Dobbins over 71.5 rushing yards. And I do believe Brock Bowers will have at least 1 touchdown. He's the anytime touchdown scorer. Gronk has Bo Nix over 1.5 passing touchdowns, probably in the 4th quarter. Brock Bowers over 66.5 receiving yards, and J.K. Dobbins getting in the end zone. By the way, FanDuel Sportsbook has another $2 million, there he is, Thursday touchdown jackpot going for this game. All you have to do is pick an anytime touchdown score. If your choice scores the first or the last touchdown, first or last, you win a share of the $2 million pot. Gronk, good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, I'll see you next time with my clone.
With your clone. See you, my friend. I don't know if the dudes on dudes back there. I don't know where you are, what you're doing, but you're the absolute best. My next guest now, a manager, an editor, the big guy in charge of blogging with the boys at SB Nation, RJ Ochoa. We're just going to dig right into it. Trade deadline. Thanks for hopping on here. I did not touch the Cowboys at all today. So Quinnen Williams, Dallas Cowboy. You think this is a massive win. Why?
I think it's a massive win for the future for the Cowboys. To be clear, I don't think anybody outside of the deepest homers that there are believes the Cowboys can dig out of this 3-5-1 hole. But I know I've told you in the past that the Cowboys have really been stumbling as a franchise since that 2023 wildcard loss to Green Bay. And this finally feels like picking themselves up and dusting themselves off and committing to some sort of plan. The next 2 years, Logan Wilson, obviously another trade acquisition for the Cowboys, appear to be, for lack of a better term, their window. And they finally appear, again, to be taking something seriously, which is a breath of fresh air for this franchise.
I want to take a look at what the Cowboys have gained and lost since the Michael. You're saying it's about the future. I agree with that. I want to get back to the timing of all this and the essence of the meaning of time with this Cowboys culture, really. But look, now we have Quinnen, we've got Kenny, who I love, Logan Wilson, who I love. 2 teams that those are my 2 teams, the Packers and the Bengals. It doesn't really offset the impact of losing a generational player like Micah Parsons, though, does it?
I don't think so. And I think if you're trying to put together some sort of, this is clearly what the Cowboys have been doing all along, and this was the end game they had in mind when they traded Micah Parsons, I don't think you're evaluating who the Cowboys are. They're a team that has floated in the wind, been like the leaves falling from the trees that Jerry Jones loves to talk about. And it does seem like they have recognized and reconciled that maybe they played too stupid of a game and they won too stupid of a prize. And at some point, you have to start acting a little bit differently as an NFL franchise, a lot like your contemporaries, like your 2 teams. Maybe not the Bengals these days. But that's, I think, the cope, honestly, that people have is that maybe they have finally learned a lesson and are starting to be a little bit more proper.
Kenny Clark, by the way, under contract for 2 more years. I mean, how surprised were you in this deal? Were you just like, what is going on? What was the vibe?
I would say Yes, but it felt very classic Cowboys. You know, outside of, I think that people look at Jerry and the Cowboys and the gambler and all the kind of tropes and whatnot and feel like they're always the team that's going to spin big in free agency. That's not their MO. But they are not a team that can stand irrelevance. They are Tinkerbell. They need applause to live. And bordering where they are at 3-5-1 with so many important games, so many primetime games, and not to mention their Thanksgiving tilt coming up, that's not their style. They have to have some sort of juice to power the rest of this season. And that may have been the primary motivation. And establishing a more legitimate future may have just been a nice consolation prize for everybody else.
I was thinking about you coming on this morning and just like the Jerry vantage point, everything he's been saying in the media, all of that lately. And it's just like, I want to know from your perspective, covering the team as closely as you do and knowing as much as you do, much more than I do. What is the factor of time in the calculus? You know, there's been no Super Bowls, and if you're doing like a math equation, no Super Bowls over time with Jerry's time. Do you know what I mean? He's in a season of his life that I like that they went all in. I like that they did, or not all in, but they made a move. They need to make these kind of moves. What is the calculus with the factor of time? Because you're saying, and I'm even thinking about what the Colts are doing, their new leadership with, you know, with the passing of time. Like, what is the importance of time?
I would offer that time is a little bit irrelevant, right? People, you know, it's awkward to talk about, but people like to talk about how time is fleeting for the Cowboys and their leadership, and I think we can all understand that. And time is precious in general with regards to life. But people, I think people get way too dramatic when it comes to the Cowboys on a national level. Not my friend Kay, obviously, but people like to say, oh, they've been doing this for 30 years. And their drought, by the way, will officially turn 30 this year if they don't reach the title game or the Super Bowl, obviously. And they haven't been the same way for 30 years. They've been very successful. They've won a lot of regular season games. You could argue they've just had their worst performances in the most critical moments. And nobody is atoning for that or making excuses or justifying that. But I think that they are trapped. They have this weird habit of falling short in these big time moments. And I think that they don't do what the Colts did, right? Like the Colts look at their team and say, we have a chance now. I mean, the move is trading for someone like Quinnen Williams when Micah Parsons is on his rookie contract, capitalizing when Dak Prescott is on his rookie contract. But they don't do those things. And so it's difficult to connect the dots or say, this is clearly the plan. The plan is just what it is today. It doesn't have to make sense with regards to what it was yesterday. Tomorrow may be different. But this specific trade suggests that maybe they are establishing an actual plan moving forward.
You got to come back on. I couldn't disagree with you more. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. What do you mean time doesn't matter?
That's who they are, though.
Is Jerry Tom Brady cloning himself? What are you talking about? Like, what are we? Does he not want to win a ring more than anything ever? Like, now he's got all this money to spend. I think time should be the fire under everyone's butt to have them go all in the second the season's over. No.
I don't disagree with you.
You and me we're gonna rap about this in a bit. RJ, appreciate you and your time, your analysis. Go over to SB Nation's Blogging with the Boys on YouTube. I know you're not. Jerry, let's go, Jerry. We'll be back. Bye. You're the best.